Man, what's good, YouTube? I want to take a second to collect my thoughts because I just got done watching the recent One Piece episode. Well, I watched it last night, and spoiler alert: if you're not up to date on the manga or the anime for that, go ahead. But rest in peace, Oden, man. So, this isn't an episode recap; it's just my thoughts. First and foremost, this is why I feel like One Piece is the best shonen anime out there because not too many shonen anime can make you care about. First of all, not only can they make side characters or characters with a backstory feel like they could be possibly main characters in their own anime, but at the same time make you actually care about them. I knew going in because I spoiled myself with the manga, but I knew going in that I was gonna when they started with Odin's backstory that it was going to lead up to his death. So I was anticipating that, but they kind of made you fall in love with the character as this journey went because he started out as this kind of immature, you know, just focus on getting off of Wano and just he's too large. He's larger than life. He's too big. His personality is too big. His power's too big for just being on this small, isolated island of a nation. And when he finally, he just kept constantly trying to get out. And when he finally got out there, you see him grow. You see him learn that there are other characters stronger than him. You saw that not only did he travel with Whitebeard, he traveled with Roger as well, and just showing that he had a bigger purpose in this whole One Piece world, and he just got to experience love. He got a wife, he got two children, and then he had found out the truth about the world, made friends along the way, and then came back with the new resolve now that he knows about the truth of the world, that he wants to open Wano. So his dream really was kind of like his destiny because his ancestors were the reason why Wano was closed off in the first place. So now it comes back full circle where, yeah, he wanted to get off the island and be free, but now his dream also is a double meaning because it's his purpose to right, not necessarily a wrong that his ancestors did, but kind of correct what they did or why they closed it off. Because again, this is why I love One Piece. That small little tidbit of information of them closing off the world to make it, closing off of Wano, and for whatever reason, or to protect themselves from this like large force. I'm assuming it's like the weapons like Pluton and stuff like that, and then to open it up for someone who's coming. You know what I'm saying? Which I assume is Luffy. And so that's like he just had this dream that was like larger than him. It just seemed selfish at first, but it's kind of his destiny. And one of the things I liked about this whole arc and the whole, I know it's not over. I think it's like maybe one or two more episodes to cap off this whole flashback. But one of the things I liked is the fact that now, for me personally, it made me feel like I can't wait for Orochi to die and Kaido, because even though like a lot of One Piece characters, they're not just one dimensional, I'm a bad guy villains. They suffer some type of hardship, or they see the world a certain way, so their actions may hurt other people, but they have this idea that they want to do. Long story short, his family tried to take over, so the people of Wano tried to, make him suffer for it. Everybody in that bloodline, everybody in that clan had to suffer. And I don't care. I do not care. This backstory, this flashback really hammered home why I do not like Orochi, and I cannot wait for him to die. Like, they need to show him die and show him suffer, because he's just a villain ass villain. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just doesn't care about whatever's happening. His whole goal is to destroy the land of Wano. And Kaido has to go too. Like, when they first showed Kaido, I thought he looked so dope, and he was probably in the running to be, just off of design and his lore that they revealed so far at the time alone, was going to make him up to my top villain. It used to be Crocodile, and then it went to Doflamingo, but then I was like, "Ooh, Kaido look dope. Look, he can't be killed either. I wonder how they gonna take him." But as I start to see him as a character, I really hate him too. He has to go too, because how they did Odin in the land of Wano, like the retribution has to, the get back has to be 1,000 times. It can't just be, oh, we beat him. It can't be one of those where, like Big Mom, where we did what we set out to accomplish. We don't necessarily have to kill the villain. No, Kaido and Orochi have to die. Period. Before this Wano arc is over with, they both have to die, and we have to see them die, and they have to die either gruesomely or painfully until it satisfies what they did to Oden. But on the flip side, seeing how Wano started off and how everybody in the land was suffering, they deserve that. I'm glad that they're suffering because how even if right even if they didn't like Odin or whatever the case may be, you know that he's supposed to be ruling the country. And just to constantly all of a sudden mock and hate him because he out there dancing was a little OD. And if you watch the episode when they was about to boil Odin, right? People was running out like they couldn't wait to see somebody boiled alive. Like that's just gruesome and weird in his own right. So the fact that they couldn't wait to see Odin boiled alive just because he was outside dancing and acting goofy, like that's way too much. They deserved all of this and more. This is what they wanted. They wanted Orochi. They wanted Kaido to be the leader. They didn't realize that what Odin was doing was for the greater good, was to protect the entire nation of Wano. They wanted to act like he was just being stupid. They just wanted to kind of mock him and laugh at him. And then they wanted to rejoice in his gruesome death. Like, that's just OD. It wasn't until Shinobu came and said, you know, what he did for the country. Now they want to cry and scream his name and beg for him to come back. But it's like, okay, even if y'all didn't like Odin, or even if he was this weirdo who went in the plaza and danced, there's never a reason to just rejoice in his death and just kind of in a roundabout way take the side of Orochi. It's just dumb. But I think that this is another way to show you that, you know, not everybody in the land of want you get a better understanding around a full-fledged story about how even though you feel sorry for them at the beginning, now you kind of don't feel sorry for them. Like they kind of got what they deserved in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the main dude that y'all should have backed and had, you know what I'm saying, held down and supported, even if they didn't know exactly what he was doing, but you knew what Orochi was doing was wrong. Y'all was terrified of Kaido. I don't think y'all ever was afraid of Odin as far as his just actions. They was just maybe afraid of the collateral damage he may cause because of the wildness that he had when he was there before he left. But the fact that they just wanted to, you know, roll with whatever Orochi was rolling with. They was laughing at him and throwing stuff at him and making jokes. Now it's like, now this is what y'all get. Y'all wanted to laugh at y'all savior. Now y'all got to deal with whoever's in charge. So it's crazy, man. You know, not even celestial dragons, as bad as they are, as evil and as crazy and, you know, as they are, I would rather see Orochi get it first before I see a celestial dragon get it. That's how much I hate him right now. And it's just crazy. Like I was saying before, you know, Oden is they just did it again. One Piece did it again to where they made you care about a background character that in the grand scheme of things will not be on the show moving forward. He wasn't a main character, he wasn't a straw hat, but he was an essential personality, essential to the story. And it's just like, wow, think about it. Even the storytelling mechanism that they have, right? The backstory is really focused on Oden, but through Oden's story, you learn more about Whitebeard and how he interacted with his crew, how he interacted with other people, his relationship with Roger. And then when he switched over and was on Roger's ship, you saw how he interacted with his crew. You saw the relationship with Shanks and Buggy. So I really like the storytelling method as well, that if say you as a watcher or reader, you didn't really care about Oden that much, right? But by watching this, you are invested in his story simply because it adds more to the overall narrative of One Piece. You see now they're talking about Joy Boy a lot. You seen when they went to Fishman Island and they talked to the king and he was talking about his daughter who wasn't born, but of course you see her all throughout the Fishman arc. When Luffy and crew gets there, you realize that they have the voice of all things, Oden and Roger. You realize now that Roger was sick and how bad he was sick. You know what I'm saying? How he was just basically pulling himself together through willpower alone. You know what I'm saying? You realize that, you know, once they got to the final island, they saw, like, they didn't show everything of the One Piece, but whatever it was, they showed it to the point where they got their reactions and they all laughed. So I definitely enjoyed this whole flashback because they could have just made it about Oden. And I feel like a lot of other anime and manga would have did that and would have called it a day. but then they actually gave you the opportunity to learn more. You know what I'm saying? Like now you know not just about Oden's backstory and the significance of him himself, but you know more about the world. What happened with Roger, Whitebeard, and what he thinks. And then they showed them get Blackbeard on the ship as well. So overall, man, bravo, freaking bravo. I feel like outside of Water 7, this could possibly be my personal favorite arc of all of One Piece. And that's why I tell people, man, if you're not watching One Piece, you missing out. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely missing out on one of the best shonen experiences out there, because I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it's too long. Think about this, right? If you started from Naruto episode 1 to the final episode of Naruto Shippuden, and if you still watching Boruto, that's over 300 episodes by itself. Same thing if you started out with Dragon Ball, the original, through Dragon Ball Z, through Dragon Ball GT, through Dragon Ball Super. That's a ton of episodes. You know what I'm saying? So get that. And then we live in the era of binge watching anyway. So I don't want to hear none of that stuff about people saying it's not good enough, or it's not it's too long, or they watch the first episode and complain about the art style. It's a unique art style. You watch any anime, nobody looks the same except for those generic Netflix anime that looks like what you will see when you Google anime and you just got the big eyed characters, whatever. But like I'm saying, man, I compare One Piece, right, to basketball. And if you a basketball fan, you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. Um, a lot of people watched basketball when Michael Jordan was playing and stopped watching when he retired. But because they stopped, they missed that whole era of Kobe, Shaq, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, and so many battles and so many classic moments. The Lakers versus the Kings, or the Trailblazers. There's these amazing basketball games that were just as exciting and skilled and on the same level as the previous era, but because they stopped watching, they missed out on this entire experience, and you will never get that back. You can watch highlights, but if you weren't in the moment watching it live, you missed something. And that's what I'm saying about One Piece, is that if you watch Dragon Ball Z and you stop watching, or you watch Naruto and you felt like that was no other anime can compare, what Japan is saying and what people have been telling you is that One Piece is it, man. You can't miss out on this amazing show just because you have these preconceived notions, or you have these memes that you see and you just follow what people say on the internet. You got to watch it for yourself, because there is no, bar none, anime touching One Piece. The combination of story is phenomenal. No anime out right now that I know of is touching One Piece in their story, their characters, the world building. There may be some anime that got better fighting. I'm not gonna lie, Jujutsu Kaisen probably got them beat, or better design or art style. I think Demon Slayer, especially when they do the little water sword stuff, them effects is dope. They got One Piece beat by that, but nothing is touching One Piece as a combination of all of the things that makes a great anime or manga. So I'm not gonna talk your head off for long enough, but man, just let me know how you felt about Oden, finally dying in the episode. And how did you feel when you read it for the first time? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you know somebody, man, make them watch One Piece. Kidnap them, force them to watch something. I'm just playing, but yeah, man, I catch y'all in the next one. Peace. I'm out.